Hello, Affinity lovers. Welcome back to the show. My name is Hudson Tumusime, your host today, and I'm excited that we're already diving into the necessities in the depth of marriage. And here with me, I have a great coach, a relationship coach, a counselor, and a therapist, Dita Stashovia. You're so welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the energy. It's been an amazing ride. Lately, we are into marriage. So singles are learning and marrieds are learning.
Very true. Marriage is God's idea, and very many times we fail at it, and it becomes like it is another person's idea, and people have started giving it up. But we are here to make sure that you get it right, that we navigate the truths about marriage in the best way possible, that we can both help each other. And today we are very excited about that topic, where I can say, can you hear me? And you say you don't hear me, or you find it rude. Today we are navigating about communication.
Yeah.
We have learned that very many times, often, people speak and people can't hear them. And we've learned that communication is not just the weight of words, but it's actually, what are you hearing? What am I saying to you? Ditas, very many times couples stay in the same bed, but live in different words. You come to a person that you love and tell them something very simple, and their minds wander to something that you're not even saying.
Yes.
And today I'm very excited because I want us to navigate those truths, because misunderstandings in communication have become a root cause. When you sit down and navigate and start hearing what people are saying, it's what he said and what she had. So I have learned that communication is not just what I am speaking, but it's a lot of things that are not said, what the other person is hearing. And could you just give us what the definition of communication in marriage means?
Usually, communication in itself, there has to be a giving or sending of information. That information has to be encoded, right? When the information is encoded, then it is sent, and then it is decoded, then it is received. So you have like 4 channels, 2 on either side. One sends. I think encoding is what comes first, isn't it? It is encoded, then decoded, and then received.
Yeah.
Now, at the process of encoding and the process of decoding, you could lose some bytes, okay, or pockets of what has been shared in the message, and then what is received becomes different. Now, you have what I intend to say. At encoding, you have your capacity to say what you intend to say, because there are people who don't study language. So they don't care that they have the right words necessary to encode or to give meaning to what they wish to say. So they end up saying whatever flows out of their mouth. And they forget that one who is hearing will now not hear their motive or intention or wish. They will hear what has been said. Now, if on the other side you have a student of language, they will start off by defining the words that you say from a normal universal language. What does this mean? When he says, I love you, what does he mean? When he says, give, what does he mean? When he says, you don't care, what does he mean? He defines care for what it is. Then now begins to decode. At decoding level, also, information can be lost. How and why? Because somebody has an opportunity to take only what has been said as they heard it, or take what has been said as they understand it. And that place of what they understand is now another broad issue. It comes from what has shaped their perceptions, their worldview, their understanding of you and the circumstance, and they're going to hear you in those lenses, and then finally settle in their heart what they now choose to take in. I don't know if have I confused us or I've spoken plainly.
When you use the word pockets and decoding, so for the edification of weaker species in language here possible, I beg that you break it down. What I have heard is that when words come out, in between what the one who's receiving the word understands, in between there is something that you call decoding. There must be an interpretation of how the person either understands the words and what they mean to them, or a person can by choice take verbally what you have said and just use it for the English language. What does it mean? If they say, I love you, love means this. So what they have said equals to this meaning, and they just take it that way. I'm just trying to see if that's what I've understood is what you're saying.
We are getting there.
We are getting there. Okay, so if you're like me, I am still asking the questions because it is very important to understand. Have you ever had two radios that are speaking but on different frequencies?
Yes.
And they are both there.
Yes.
You tend not to hear anything.
Yes.
And sometimes when we speak, things are like that, especially, in the lecture rooms. There was this particular lecturer who, whenever he came to teach, I would just sit in the class and he just keeps talking and I don't understand anything that he is saying.
Yes.
And I have come to realize these very things happen in marriage.
Yes.
These two people who gave vows to themselves, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, no longer feel excited to hear each other communicate, because they feel like even if I speak, it doesn't matter how many times I speak, you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And there is something I and my wife developed to help to understand each other. We keep asking ourselves the question, what do you mean by that?
Yes.
Because when we got married, my wife has a tendency, even when she's speaking to older women, she gets so excited into the conversation and then she starts making statements like, choka you girl, by tapping. And so we are married, we even have a child, she's telling me, hey, you boy. And in the conversation, I realized that there are times when what I am saying is serious, but in the lenses of how she's receiving it, she's treating me like her girlfriend with pants. And what I'm saying is broad, especially when I'm talking about money. I'm talking about things of saving, and my wife just feels what the conversation I'm saying is so casual. After communicating about the necessity of saving, of handling money a certain way, she goes ahead and makes a statement that shows she didn't understand anything. She
wasn't with you.
That I said. Yes. So, Ditas, could you elaborate? And we have been told before we get married that it is very important to develop good communication in marriage. And when we go into marriage, we understand all we think is be verbatim, speak up, talk. And so everything that she says, I will hear and do. Everything she doesn't say, I don't know she needs. And then until I find myself being caught captive of something she didn't say, but it looks like according to her, it was obvious. She said it. She even says, I've been showing you that it is not, but she didn't say. And then I bring up the guns where I say, but they told us to communicate. Why didn't you speak up? So could you tell us what could be the best way of navigating the idea of communication in marriage?
One, to know that communication is one of those core pillars upon which any relationship stands, now especially marriage. Marriages thrive and fail on communication. When handled well, communication can make one's marriage thrive. When not handled well, or poor communication can lead to a collapse of a marital relationship. Now, I want to start by saying, don't marry somebody who does not understand you. And that's the biggest problem. We always hear, we're saying, you don't understand me. Irrespective of how much I've tried, well, you don't understand me, I've decided to always be quiet. Understanding in marriage is different from understanding in business or any other relationships. Understanding somebody in marriage, firstly, is a heart issue, or should I even dare to say, is a spiritual issue. I'm sorry for those who feel I'm getting complex. I'll break it down. It's beyond what is said. It is even what is being said in the silent. One, do you understand who you're married to? For example, to see me and you know, even if I brought a video that is so clear that no one has doctored this video, my wife will tell you that is not my husband. Echo touch collar. There are things which my wife will tell you, Echo touch collar. There are things you can bring me a picture, videos, I don't know what, and I tell you that is not my wife. I understand her. There are things people can come saying about my wife, and I'm like, you were dealing with another one. It was her sister, not my wife. And by the end of morning, it won't be her. It won't be me, because she understands me. Someone is saying, hey, Tonalaba. Guatanalaba. The problem is you never understood him. That's why you can be shocked or surprised. What you thought you understood is not what he is. So the beginning place of thriving information or communication, is people to be able to understand each other. You understand me? A place of understanding each other. Where, for example, my wife knows my strength deeply, knows the things I'm passionate about deeply, understands what I'm up to, what my life is up to, what I'm pursuing, and has a deep understanding of it, that she now begins to know all I say, all I do, all I design, my relationships are all within one given picture of my pursuit. And she has that bold picture. That creates what we call language. So couples must have an understanding of each other first that defines their unique language. Because when you now have a language, then you can begin to communicate. Because with couples, you'll discover that if your hearts can't communicate, you can't communicate.
If your hearts can't communicate,
you can't communicate.
In the first 5 years, how do you develop that kind of understanding? Does it develop while you're dating and courting? When does that actual understanding? Because while you're saying, when you're explaining to what your wife can say about you and what you can say about her, now the ones who are not there feel like, what do you even mean? I married this guy, he changed. He changed. Every time he starts speaking, he's just shouting at me. When you talk to the guy, he feels she's the one who takes everything personal. I told her this, I told her this, I told her this. It's like she doesn't want me to say the truth to her. How do you develop in the first 5 years especially the ability to learn to communicate with hearts and define what is the communication with hearts?
So I'm starting from the abstract to the known. I know learning is easier for people when it is from the known to the abstract. But this particular subject will make sense when I start it that way.
Okay.
When people understand each other, I said a language is born. That's how actually even languages that men speak have evolved. That's how they've come about. People always create languages because there's a way we connect. There's a way. It starts from how we connect. You get it? Eh? There's a place where somebody says, Ochtegela. Then you feel like you've like you felt where he's coming from because of the phrase he has used. That's a language you developed out of experiences. So experiences give people understanding and they give people language. Okay? So experiences together people will struggle to understand each other if they are not giving each other experiences. You need to really spend time together. I usually encourage people, it's really not a desired place that the first 5 years of marriage that have been our focus lately, you should be apart. You know, you stay in Canada, your wife stays in Zambia. You stay in Rwanda, your husband stays in Nairobi. It's not ideal, it's not a good thing. If you can first live together, do a lot of things together. It can even go to some details like avoid having two cars, so that you can move together. Give yourselves experiences. While you're giving each other experiences, you are understanding each other. There is something I discovered in psychology about me that I didn't know, that I'm a highly sensitive person. Now, have you ever been in a room and there's a wall clock, and when you go down to rest and it's all quiet, and the arm of this clock is, clicking, something like that.
You can hear it.
I can't sleep when that kind of sound is on. I can't sleep when there's light. When you have sharp light, it stabs me. There's a way I want my serene calm in every space that I'm in. I love to stay in quiet environments. I love all these things. Now, I didn't know that about myself. But as we live with my wife, she can be driving and hit a pothole like it's okay. I want my ride smooth. So my wife would say, but that was normal. Like, we are running. But so over time, experiences, she begins to connect the pothole to the clock, to the light, to that cockroach which passed the curtain when we were trying to rest. When I say that I'm watching a sermon, I want everything in the house quiet. Now people are throwing stones at me. It's so deep in there. So she began to connect these things. And then she's like, there's something you need to read about. And then there were all traits of people they consider highly or hypersensitive. And now the understanding of that creates a language for us. One that if I'm in a room and I'm having a conversation with you, you'll hear my wife tell everyone else around, you guys, be silent. I've communicated to her that bird that is singing she knows the moment it started and I'm having a conversation, it better be silent. When we are in the vehicle, we can't have a conversation when music is playing. It is either we keep quiet and enjoy the worship, or we shut the radio and talk. I want to give my 100% in one direction. I want you to look at me as we talk. Give me my whole, and I'll give you everything. I don't pick holes when I'm having engagements with anybody, because my 100% is here. Now, people I be talking to and they are scrolling their phones, oh my God. So when my wife is in the room, she'll be like, that one has lost him. So we are forming something. So she's getting my language. She's getting my language, how I connect. Now that forms something about communication. Now when we have a language, I also understand things about her. We begin to have a way we talk. She'll wake up in the morning. I know she has 2 nice dresses in the house, and she pulls this one and we're going to church. And she didn't have to tell me, I know we need to go shopping. Those dresses no longer cut it. I like them, but she just wants to feel different. She didn't have to tell me. She picked the other, not because it's what she can do as her best. She just wanted to make a statement. I want to change my wardrobe. I'm bored by everything I have. So when she's bored, she picks the worst. She didn't pick the close to best. No, she picks the worst. And I'm like, so I don't jump on her of, what kind of dress is that you've put on? Because the moment I say that, I am telling her that I am insensitive to my duty of dressing her well. She has been expecting me to change her wardrobe. I've not been doing that. To make matters worse, I'm insensitive. I don't realize the time is due. We haven't said anything, but we are talking. We are talking. I see that dress, I know that comes when we are bored. She pulls the funniest shoes, that comes when we are nagged. And a new clothes, a new pair of shoes, or a bag, or is going to make sense right now. So on that day, I'm actually going to go out with her in that fake shoe, in that funny dress, because it is a safer place to be, because it does not say that she's not smart. It says that I'm sensitive. I'm cautious that she's no longer happy with all she has. I need to change it. It's a comforting zone for her. And then 2-3 days, I can send pictures of, can you pick any of these? And that alone changes everything. Even if I take other 2 months before I buy other dresses. But the pictures of, what do you think of this? What do you think of this outfit? What do you think of this? That changes it. But at some point, I've even chosen to say, let her go out herself, because she may enjoy the window shopping and finally pick some. I'll get some money, give it to her, and expect her to change things, and I'll hear the accountability being different. I know, you know, at church there was that need when they talked about it, I gave the money. You know, we met the other lady, her child, her baby within, I gave the money. She loves to give. She's quite generous. Don't take advantage of her. So, but she's already happy. I listen to her heart. And those things are many. They go to many other things. So, understand each other. The understanding of each other gives you a language. When you have a language, you now begin to have a place where your hearts talk. When people in marriage can't speak from a heart level, they are not talking. They are not talking. These other words usually build on this foundation of understanding each other, of an own language, a language that is yours alone. Haven't you had families which tell their children, hey, 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 we don't do that? Haven't you heard that?
Yes, I have.
You find that you feel a place where this is okay elsewhere. But we,
not us.
we, you mean this house. Usually, it comes from a place where, to start with, me and your mother understand. We are at a place where that is a settled zone. It's not something I'm battling to bring into the family or your mother is bringing in. Me and your mother understand this is not
something we do. Yes.
Outside it's okay. We don't. These people are fetching from a depth of language that they are already flowing in, and now they are pouring it into their children. So in that family, like in my house, where I was born, where I was raised with my mother and my father, we don't speak names of adults. You don't. Our stepbrothers and sisters would mention her name, we would never mention their mother's name. We can't. What do you say, Mama Good, but you don't say the name? You say Auntie so and so, Mr. You don't say the name of an adult. Now I've become an adult, I have a right, but I struggle to mention an adult's name. But people play with that. But in my mother's house, it is we don't. In this house, we don't. It's a language they share. You carry that language and begin to connect from that level.
Powerful. We've developed the language. We've developed the language, and in the conversation that we are having, it looks like you have found a language that both of you understand, that you don't need to say so much. What causes couples to eventually, after they've developed the language, to come to a place when they can no longer understand each other? And by understanding, I actually just don't mean that what he's saying is complex or deep, but hey, honey, can you take the trash out? I will take it, after all. I'm the one who always takes it anyway. What causes communication to become that? I'm telling you this because before I actually get married, I get counsel from a couple that has been married for 10 years. And the counsel looks beautiful because they gave me the counsel together. Long story short, before we get married, they are no longer together.
Wow.
They are no longer together. It disturbed my understanding because it disqualified the counsel they gave me.
Whoa.
You understand?
Yes.
Because in the counsel, they looked put together. What the man said, the woman would just give a tick to. And before we get married, they are no longer together. You understand? So it started making me feel they were just putting on a show when they were talking to us. So I'm concerned, Dites, as a therapist, you've seen these things. What happens for communication to become what I've just demonstrated? And how can I keep consistent at growing this communication?
Yes.
Even when we have told ourselves everything.
Yes.
And I mean, there are changes in life.
Yes.
What I was saying yesterday is not what I said today.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you keep this communication growing that it doesn't deter you from the
You
relationship?
have mentioned it, experiences. Usually when people begin to grow to a place where they are no longer understanding each other, you hear your spouse telling you, well, you never understand me. No, there is something in the foundations that is not okay.
Okay.
That's usually a consequence. The roots are deeper. There is a deeper problem. You began to lose each other at the experience level. So you have lost the language and now you're no longer understanding each other. Marital communication is not a question of words, because I can't now say that we go to what people want, like men, is, can I bring out the email I sent, the text I sent? Yes, bring it out. We've done those things with my wife. Bring out the text. Isn't this a text I wrote to you? I said, at 4 p.m., I will be in such a place. Pass by me and we'll go home together. How did it happen that you reached home before me? In saying you just passed by me, I was even meaning much more. I wanted us to have a day out, but I wanted to surprise you. I didn't want you to disorganize what was home. They were organizing a surprise for you. You've messed up everything. But me, you never said that. Can I bring the text message? So marriage is not about, can I pull out the message and we add word to word and then I win the argument that it's what I said. That is much more, that's light, that's the encourage. It's the easiest way of communication. The cores of communication in marriage are in the unsaid. It is in the shared language. It is in the shared experience that I understand you first, then we speak. I understand you first, then we talk. That I can be seated at home and guests come and I see how my wife is setting her table and I understand her. I understand her. Today, our kitchen is not well stocked. Nenchitegera, nenchimanya. 2, and I know why. These days she has been busy because my wife never sets her table like that for her guests. My wife is angry because she never does that, and I need to help her. My wife is tired. Somebody needs to step in for her. Like we have shared experiences to that level. When we begin to hear things like, anyway, after all, but why is, how important is it that I tell you? For what purpose? Mkugambe katimbuchi. I tell you now, so that what? Those statements, you know you missed something. Language is lost because experiences have been lost. Rekindle. You need to go back to the drawing board. I lost the connection. I lost the relationship. I have now lost the language. I have now lost this and that. I can tell when my wife needs to be left alone in bed and let her sleep. I can tell when she needs my attention and time. There's when I would be in the sitting room and I'm on my desk working and I have so much consuming me. And I see the behavior in the house. Nemanyanti, I'm needed in the chambers. And I shut everything and I go. And when you reach, you'll find her lying down, facing the other side, eyes closed. Or even she can close them when she hears you opening the door to just check are we still connected in heart? Can you hear what I'm saying?
Ditas, when you're saying this, there's someone out there who is saying, no, you may be, because you were therapist, that's why you can see that.
Yes.
The interest now is, before we marry, we are texting at night, in the evening, afternoon, I check on you at lunchtime. There are all these sweet nothings that are coming out of my text. And now we are married and he doesn't do any of those things. And often it happens, the ladies are saying, I think he doesn't love me the same because he doesn't, quote unquote, communicate. So you're talking about experiences that have grown you to have the ability to see what you're saying. But then there is also one who has had all these experiences with her husband, a lady now who is saying, hey, you hear how that man is saying? That's how you're supposed to also see me. I mean, like, you hear how he's saying he can know when there is need to change. And there is a man who seems foolish.